In this video, I'm going to go through the answers for this worksheet. You can pause the video, try the questions, and then go through the answers. Now, there's a timestamp in the description below for each question, so you can skip to that if you want. So the first question is 1/4 plus 1/8. So the first thing that I notice is that the denominators are different, the bottom numbers are different. So I'm going to do the 4 times table, and I'm going to do the 8 times table. 4, 8, 12, 16, 8, 16, 24, 32. And I need to look into this list and find the smallest number that is in both lists, the lowest common multiple. And I notice that it's 8. So I need to turn this 4 into an 8. And how do I do that? I multiply it by 2. 1, 2 numbers across. So it's the second number in the list, so I multiply it by 2. Whatever I do to the bottom number, I have to do to the top number. So I multiply the bottom number by 2, I have to multiply the top number by 2. Now if I look at the second fraction, I can see that it's an 8, so I don't need to do anything with this. Now I'm going to concentrate on this fraction. I do my fraction line. 4 times 2 is 8. 1 times 2 is 2. This plus goes here. And I keep this fraction the same. Now this is easy because the denominators are the same. So I do my fraction line, put the 8 at the bottom, and I do 2 plus 1, 2 plus 1. 2 plus 1 is 3, and this 8 goes at the bottom. So 1/4 plus 1/8 is 3/8. Now my second question is 2/5 plus 3/10. As before, I do the 5 times table, and I do the 10 times table. 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on. 10, 20, 30, 40, and so on. So I need to look in this list and find out which is the smallest number, which is common or in both lists. That's the 10 there and the 10 there. So 10 is the lowest common multiple. How do I turn this 5 into a 10? 1, 2. I multiply it by 2. Whatever I do to the bottom number, I do to the top number. And this is already a 10, so I can leave that. So I concentrate on this first fraction. 5 times 2 is 10. 2 times 2 is 4. This plus goes here. And this fraction I can write next to there. 3/10. Now the denominators are the same, so I'll put the 10 there. 4 plus 3. 4 plus 3. Fraction line. 10 goes at the bottom. 4 plus 3 is 7. So I can say 2/5 plus 3/10 equals 7/10. My third question is 1/2 plus 1/6. Again, I do the 2 times table because of this 2, and I do the 6 times table because of this. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and so on. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, and so on. Now, this is why it's useful to know your times tables. It makes this step much easier. Now, I'm going to run along this list and find the lowest common number, the number that's in the top list and the bottom list. So I can see there's a 6 and there's a 6. Now, how do I turn this 2 into a 6? 1, 2, 3. So I multiply it by 3. Whatever I do to the bottom number or the denominator, I do to the top number or the numerator. I times that by 3. Now this is already a 6, so I can leave that. Now I'm going to concentrate on the first fraction here. Do my fraction line. 2 times 3 is 6. 1 times 3 is 3. This plus goes here. And this fraction, I can write that straight there. Again, because these are both 6, it's easy. We put a 6 at the bottom. And we do 3 plus 1. 3 plus 1. Fraction line. 6 goes at the bottom. 3 plus 1 is 4. So I can say 1/2 plus 1/6 equals 4/6. My next question is 2/8 plus 1/4. So I'm going to do the 8 times table. 8, 16, 24, 32, and so on. And I'm going to do the 4 times table. 4, 8, 12, 16, and so on. Now I need to run along this list and find out which is the lowest common number. Which number is in the top list and the bottom list. So I can see I have an 8 there and I have an 8 there. So the 8 is the lowest common multiple. And if I look at the first fraction, the denominator, it's already an 8. So I can leave that. I move on to the next fraction. This 4, how can I turn it into an 8? 1, 2. It's the second number in the list. So if I multiply this by 2, I'll get an 8. Whatever I do to the bottom number, I do to the top number. So I keep the first fraction the same because that's an 8. So I have 2 8s. This plus goes here. And then I concentrate on this fraction here. So I do my fraction line. 4 times 2 is 8. And 1 times 2 is 2. These two are both 8, so I put an 8 at the bottom. And then I do 2 plus 2. Fraction line. 8 goes at the bottom. 2 plus 2 is 4. Now I want to look at this carefully. I have 4 8s. I know I can simplify this fraction because they're both even numbers. But one other thing that I've noticed that they're both in the 4 times table. So I can divide the numerator or the top number by 4. And whatever I do to the top number, I have to do the same to the bottom number. So I have to divide this by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. And 8 divided by 4 is 2. So I can say 2 8s plus 1/4 is equal to a half. My next question is 1/10 plus 1/100. Now I can see straight away to get from 10 to 100, I simply multiply the 10 by 10. So the denominators will now be the same. Now whatever I do to the bottom number or the denominator, I have to do to the top number or the numerator. So I need to multiply the 1 by 10. So what I do is my fraction line and concentrate on the first fraction. So 10 times 10 is 100. 1 times 10 is 10. I take this plus, put it here, and then this second fraction can go straight there. Now because these two are both the same, I put the 100 at the bottom as the denominator, and I simply do 10 plus 1. 10 plus 1. 100 at the bottom as the denominator. 10 plus 1 is 11. So I can say 1/10 plus 1/100 equals 11/100. My next question is 4/5 minus 1/10. Now the denominators are both different. So I'm going to do my 5 times table because of that. And I'm going to do my 10 times table. 5, 10, 15, 20 and so on. 10, 20, 30, 40 and so on. So I need to check in the top list and the bottom list to see which is the lowest common number or the lowest common multiple. Which number is both in the top list and the bottom list, and I can see it's 10. So my lowest common multiple, and I want you to get used to that word, is 10. Now how do I turn this 5 into a 10? 1, 2. It's the second number in the list, so I multiply it by 2. Whatever I do to the bottom number, I do to the top number. Now this number here is already a 10th, so I can leave that as it is. Now I'm going to concentrate on the first fraction. 5 times 2 is 10. 4 times 2 is 8. Minus 1/10. Now these two denominators are both the same, so I simply put that down. And I do 8 take away 1, or 8 subtract 1. 8 take away 1. Fraction line, the 10 goes at the bottom. 8 take away 1 is 7. So I can say 4/5 take away 1/10 equals 7/10. My next question is 2/5 take away 3/15. I'm going to do this slightly differently. I can see I can turn the 5 into a 15, so then that both the denominators are the same. What do I need to do to the 5 to turn it into a 15? I multiply it by 3, because I know 5 times 3 is 15. Now whatever I do to the bottom number, I have to do to the top number. So now I'm going to concentrate on the first fraction. 5 times 3 is 15, and 2 times 3 is 6. I put this takeaway here, and I keep this fraction the same. Now because the denominators are the same, I put 15 at the bottom. 6 take away 3. 6 take away 3. 15 goes at the bottom. 6 take away 3 is 3. So I can say 2/5 take away 3/15 is 3/15. But if I look carefully, I can simplify this. So let me write that there. Now, which times table are these two in? I can see straight away that they're both in the 3 times table. So I can divide the top number by 3. And whatever I do to the top number, I have to do the same to the bottom number. So I have to divide this by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. And 15 divided by 3 is 5. So I can say 2/5 take away 3/15 is 1/5. The next question I've got to do is 7/12 take away 1/3. Now if I look carefully, I can see I can turn the 3 into a 12, so then both the denominators will be the same. I can multiply the denominator by 4, and whatever I do to the bottom number, I have to do to the top number. So I can keep this as 7/12. I can take this minus and put it here. And now I can concentrate on the second fraction. 3 times 4 is 12. And 1 times 4 is 4. Now because the denominators are the same, I put the 12 at the bottom. And I do 7 take away 4. 7 take away 4. I put 12 at the bottom. 7 take away 4 is 3. Now if I look at this carefully, I can see I can simplify 3/12. So let me write that here. 3/12. Now I can see straight away that they're both in the 3 times table. So I can divide the numerator by 3. And whatever I do to the numerator, I do to the denominator. So I have to divide the 12 by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So I can say 7/12 take away 1/3 equals 1/4. My last question is 3/4 take away 9/12. Now again, because I know my times tables, I can see I can turn the 4 into a 12 by simply multiplying it by 3, because 4 times 3 is 12. Now whatever I do to the bottom number, I have to do to the top number. So I'm going to concentrate on the first fraction. 4 times 3 is 12, and 3 times 3 is 9. Now I take the minus and put it here, and I write this fraction here. Now remember what we said, if both the fractions are the same and you're subtracting them, the answer is going to be 0. But let's do that. Both the denominators are the same, so we put a 12 here. 9 take away 9. 9 take away 9. 9 take away 9 is 0. And 0 divided by 12, or 0/12, is the same as a big fat 0. So we can say 3/4 take away 9/12 is 0. Now I'm going to go through this question. 3/5 plus 1/3. I'm going to do my 5 times table. And I'm going to do my 3 times table. 5, 10, 15, 20. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. So what I'm going to do is run along this list and find out which is the smallest number which is common in both the lists. So I can see straight away I have 15 there and 15 there. Now if I look at this 5, how can I turn this 5 into a 15? 1, 2, 3. It's the third number along, so I multiply it by 3. Whatever I do to the bottom number, I do to the top number. Now look at this 3 and the 3 times table. How can I turn this 3 into a 15? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can multiply this by 5. Whatever I do to the bottom number, I have to do to the top number. Now I'm going to concentrate on the first fraction, this one here. 5 times 3 is 15. 3 times 3 is 9. I take this plus and place it there. Now I'm going to concentrate on this second fraction. 3 times 5 is 15. 1 times 5 is 5. Now because these two denominators are the same, I simply put 15 there and I do 9 plus 5. 9 plus 5. Nine plus 5 is 14. So I can say 3/5 plus 1/3 equals 14/15. Now this is the end of the video where you're adding and subtracting fractions with a different denominator. If you can learn this skill, your maths will become much easier. Now thanks for watching, and the next video should be multiplying fractions, which is even easier than this.